can't be powerful if you're reactive. Because reactivity means you're predictable. Predictable means controllable. And once people can control your emotions, they control your decisions. They control your peace. They control your life. That's why detachment is discipline, it's emotional self-defense. You can't stop storms from coming, but you can stop yourself from drowning in them. You can't control people, but you can control what they pull out of you. That's the skill most never master. They think reacting means caring. It doesn't. It means losing control. You have to learn to sit in emotional silence, to feel the chaos without feeding it. To say nothing when your ego demands a war. To breathe when your mind screams to react. Because calm is your greatest weapon. The calm person doesn't mean they don't care, it means they're calculating. They're thinking. They're choosing their move instead of wasting it on noise. You have to understand this. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every battle is worth your peace. Not every insult needs an answer. Most of the time, silence is the loudest response. Stillness is the sharpest strike. That's the difference between the reactive and the disciplined. One needs validation. The other needs nothing. Emotional detachment is knowing your worth so deeply that nothing external can shake it. No opinion defines you. No loss destroys you. No outcome owns you. You stop needing things to go your way. You stop craving constant agreement. You stop chasing closure from people who were never capable of giving it. That's peace. That's control. You're no longer a slave to the external. You don't need to win every argument, because you already won yourself. It's not weakness. It's evolution. You realize your reactions used to serve your ego, not your growth. You realize peace isn't found through control, it's found through letting go. You realize the less you respond, the more you understand. You don't have to match energy anymore, you set it. You don't have to prove calmness, you embody it. That's when your silence becomes uncomfortable for others, because they can't control what they can't provoke. That's the moment you cross from being emotional to being in command. You no longer move because of emotion, you move because of principle. You no longer react from insecurity, you act from clarity. You become composed, deliberate, untouchable. That's emotional discipline, and it changes everything. Imagine how many mistakes you've made in anger. How many bridges burned in pride. How many bad decisions born from reaction. That's what this chapter is about, ending that cycle. When you control emotion, you control outcome. Because emotions are temporary, but decisions built from them have permanent consequences. You can't let temporary feelings write permanent regrets. Pause. Breathe. Respond later, not weaker, smarter. Every time you feel that urge to react, ask, does this serve me or drain me? If it drains you, it doesn't deserve you. That's the filter of detachment. Stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Stop fighting battles that exist only to prove you still care. Stop letting anger waste your time. You don't win by reacting. You win by outlasting. By staying calm while everyone else self-destructs. Because when you stay calm, you see clearly. And when you see clearly, you act effectively. The calm mind doesn't get manipulated. The calm mind doesn't get baited. The calm mind makes moves, not noise. That's your goal, to master your internal state so completely that the external can't shake it. That's true control. That's power. That's peace. So train yourself daily. When triggered, pause. When angry, breathe. When disrespected, remember your worth. When provoked, stay silent. You'll start to notice something. You lose nothing by not reacting, but you gain everything. You gain time, energy, clarity. You gain mastery. The strongest person in any room is the one who can stay calm in chaos. Because chaos exposes weakness, but calmness reveals mastery. You have that power. You've always had it. You just forgot how to use it because you were taught to always respond, always fight back, always prove something. Now you know better. You don't need to prove your control. You show it through silence. You don't need to chase peace. You create it through detachment. Every emotion that used to own you, anger, fear, doubt, loses its grip the moment you stop feeding it. That's emotional evolution. That's freedom. And when you finally master that, you become unshakable. Because nothing external can control a person who controls their internal world. That's emotional detachment. That's the calm within chaos. That's the next level of discipline. Transition. You've mastered stillness. You've learned to be calm when the world wants chaos. Now it's time to take that calm energy and transform it into something unstoppable, consistency. Because peace is nothing without progress. Next chapter, the discipline of consistency, why ordinary effort, repeated relentlessly, beats talent every time. Chapter 9. The discipline of consistency, why ordinary effort, repeated relentlessly, beats talent every time. The world doesn't reward intensity. It rewards consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can be motivated for a week. But consistency? That's rare. That's sacred. That's discipline in motion. Because consistency isn't exciting. It's not glamorous. It's repetition when no one claps. It's progress so slow you question if it's working. It's doing it again when your mind whispers, it doesn't matter. That's what separates the strong from the soft, who can keep showing up after the excitement fades. The truth is, talent fades. Motivation fades. But habits stay. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about never giving up on the process. Even when it's boring. Even when it's lonely. Even when you don't feel like it. That's where greatness hides, in monotony. The people you call gifted aren't lucky. They're consistent. They've simply repeated the right actions long enough for the world to call it talent. That's the secret. Repetition creates reputation. You think you need more motivation. You don't. You need more repetition. You need to show up, no matter what, until showing up becomes who you are. It's not about passion. It's about persistence. It's not about how fast you move. It's about how long you can keep moving. That's consistency, and that's where mastery lives. Every great person you admire built their life on one principle: don't break the chain. One workout. One study session. One repetition. Every day. Because momentum is built on ordinary effort, stacked relentlessly. You don't rise because of one massive action. You rise because of 1,000 small ones that no one ever saw. That's the truth no one tells you. The most powerful people live boring lives. Their days look the same. Their routines are predictable. Their habits are almost robotic. Because consistency kills distraction. It keeps you aligned. It keeps you moving. You can't chase 10 goals at once. You need rhythm. You need structure. You need repetition. That's discipline, the art of doing what matters every day, regardless of how you feel. You wake up. You do the work. You sleep. You wake up again. You do it again. That's it. No drama. No excuses. Just process. Because real change doesn't come from intensity, it comes from identity. Consistency turns effort into identity. You become the kind of person who doesn't skip. Who doesn't quit. Who doesn't stop. That's how you build trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your mind takes note: I can count on me. That's power. That's confidence built through action. Consistency is self-respect in motion. Every skipped day chips away at your integrity. Every day you show up, you repair it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stop disappearing. Because disappearing destroys momentum. And momentum is everything. The first few steps are the hardest. But once you start, consistency becomes gravity. It pulls you forward, even when you don't want to move. That's why you must guard your rhythm. Protect your routine like it's sacred, because it is. When you lose rhythm, you lose clarity. When you lose clarity, you lose discipline. And when you lose discipline, you lose yourself. That's the sequence most people live in: bursts of effort followed by collapse. They sprint, then vanish. They start strong, then fall silent. That's not discipline. That's impulse. Discipline is staying steady when excitement dies. It's choosing small progress over temporary highs. It's choosing structure over chaos, focus over feeling. Because consistency is emotionless. It doesn't care how you feel today. It only cares that you showed up. That's what you must train. Emotional consistency leads to behavioral consistency. You have to learn to act without needing to feel ready. You have to work without needing to want to. Because readiness is a trap. If you wait until you feel like it, you'll never do it. You have to move first, the motivation follows. That's the discipline formula. Every single day you have a choice. You can feed your feelings or feed your focus. You can chase ease or chase endurance. You know what's easy? Starting. You know what's rare? Continuing. That's the separator. That's the silent metric that defines success. The ones who win aren't faster, they're consistent longer. They're not driven by hype. They're driven by duty. Because emotions are temporary, but decisions built from them have permanent consequences. You can't let temporary feelings write permanent regrets. Pause. Breathe. Respond later, not weaker, smarter. Every time you feel that urge to react, ask, does this serve me or drain me? If it drains you, it doesn't deserve you. That's the filter of detachment. Stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. Stop fighting battles that exist only to prove you still care. Stop letting anger waste your time. You don't win by reacting. You win by outlasting. By staying calm while everyone else self-destructs. Because when you stay calm, you see clearly. And when you see clearly, you act effectively. The calm mind doesn't get manipulated. The calm mind doesn't get baited. The calm mind makes moves, not noise. That's your goal, to master your internal state so completely that the external can't shake it. That's true control. That's power. That's peace. So train yourself daily. When triggered, pause. When angry, breathe. When disrespected, remember your worth. When provoked, stay silent. You'll start to notice something. You lose nothing by not reacting, but you gain everything. You gain time, energy, clarity. You gain mastery. The strongest person in any room is the one who can stay calm in chaos. Because chaos exposes weakness, but calmness reveals mastery. You have that power. You've always had it. You just forgot how to use it because you were taught to always respond, always fight back, always prove something. Now you know better. You don't need to prove your control. You show it through silence. You don't need to chase peace. You create it through detachment. Every emotion that used to own you, anger, fear, doubt, loses its grip the moment you stop feeding it. That's emotional evolution. That's freedom. And when you finally master that, you become unshakable. Because nothing external can control a person who controls their internal world. That's emotional detachment. That's the calm within chaos. That's the next level of discipline. Transition. You've mastered stillness. You've learned to be calm when the world wants chaos. Now it's time to take that calm energy and transform it into something unstoppable, consistency. Because peace is nothing without progress. Next chapter, the discipline of consistency, why ordinary effort, repeated relentlessly, beats talent every time. Chapter 10, The Discipline of Endurance, How to Keep Going When Everything Hurts. Everyone talks about strength, until it hurts. Everyone wants to be disciplined, until it's painful. Everyone wants to keep going, until they can't. But that's the moment that defines you. Not when things are easy. Not when you're winning. When it hurts. When you're exhausted. When every part of you wants to quit. That's where endurance begins. Because discipline is doing what you must. Endurance is doing it after you've lost the feeling that you can. Anyone can start. The strong continue. The relentless finish. And finishing doesn't mean you feel powerful, it means you move anyway. You see, pain isn't the enemy. Pain is information. It tells you where you're weak. It tells you what needs to be built. It tells you where the next version of you will rise. That's the key. The pain you're avoiding is the very thing designed to forge you. The disciplined don't run from pain. They listen to it. They learn from it. They grow because of it. Because pain isn't punishment, it's progress. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. And if it doesn't hurt, it's not real growth. You must learn to stay in the fire without losing yourself. To breathe through struggle instead of escaping it. To endure without needing to feel good about it. That's endurance, and it's sacred. Because life will test you. It'll take from you. It'll break your rhythm. It'll hit you with losses you didn't expect and storms you didn't ask for. And when it does, your feelings won't save you. Your motivation won't save you. Only your discipline will. That's why you've been training. That's why you've been building. That's why you've been silent when others were distracted, because when the storm hits, only the disciplined stand. You can't fake endurance. You can't pretend to be strong when it hurts. The truth shows up when the pressure rises, and that's where most people stop. They collapse. They complain. They wait for easy days. But easy days don't come. And waiting has never built strength. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by carrying it. You carry the weight until your body adapts. You carry the chaos until your mind adapts. You carry the pain until your soul transforms it into purpose. That's how endurance is built, not through comfort, but through resistance. Because what you survive, you own. And what you endure, you become. The problem is, most people confuse relief with healing. They think stopping is self-care. Sometimes, it's self-sabotage. There's a time to rest, yes, but rest isn't quitting. Rest is recovery with purpose. Rest is strategy, not surrender. Endurance is knowing the difference. You rest to continue. You don't rest to escape. Because the world doesn't slow down for your pain, it moves on. And so must you. You don't have to be fearless to endure. You just have to move through fear. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to refuse to stop. That's endurance, moving broken, tired, uncertain, but still moving. That's the secret most people never learn. Discipline doesn't protect you from pain. It teaches you how to carry it. Because life isn't about avoiding suffering, it's about transforming it into strength. Every setback, every betrayal, every sleepless night, it's all data. It's teaching you how to endure, how to adapt, how to outlast. Because outlasting is the highest form of power. The one who endures outlives the one who complains. The one who endures wins, even if it takes years. That's the game you're playing, the long game. No shortcuts. No applause. Just quiet persistence. The disciplined don't need motivation to continue. They continue because stopping isn't an option. That's identity. That's endurance. You have to decide what kind of person you are when the pain comes. Because it will come, and it'll test your foundation. Do you collapse? Or do you adapt? Do you blame? Or do you build? Do you wait for the storm to pass? Or do you learn to walk in the rain? That's the choice, every single day. You can either let pain define you, or you can let it refine you. You can either be a victim of circumstance, or a product of endurance. That's what the world will never tell you. Survival itself is a form of strength. Getting up one more time is victory. Breathing through pain is progress. Moving through fear is freedom. You're not losing, you're becoming. Every hard day adds layers to your strength. Every failure builds resilience. Every disappointment sharpens awareness. That's how the disciplined mind grows, not through success, but through survival. The world calls it suffering. You call it training. Because you've built yourself to endure. And endurance doesn't just change how you act, it changes who you are. You become unbreakable, not because nothing hurts you, but because nothing stops you. You feel the pain, but you keep moving. You feel the loss, but you still rise. You feel the fatigue, but you still show up. That's power. That's the discipline blueprint in motion. Every challenge has been shaping you for this, not for perfection, but for endurance. Not to make you invincible, but to make you unstoppable. That's the purpose of every setback, to build your capacity to keep going when others give up. You're not here to win once. You're here to last forever. Because endurance outlives talent. It outlasts motivation. It outpaces fear. And when you master endurance, nothing can take your progress from you. So remember this. You don't quit because you're tired. You quit because you've forgotten who you are. And who you are, is built to endure. You're built for pain. You're built for pressure. You're built for persistence. Keep moving. Keep breathing. Keep enduring. Because when the world breaks everyone, the disciplined are the ones who rebuild. Transition to closing. You've learned control. You've learned silence. You've learned endurance. Now, it's time to bring everything together, every principle, every repetition, every test of strength. Let's close this journey where it began, with the ultimate truth of self-mastery. Final chapter, the unbreakable self, the discipline blueprint complete.